So I'm going up again. So that is interesting. This should actually work with most quadcopters that have the flip feature. Hi, Quadcopter 101 here. One of my viewers contacted me and wanted to share a technique that he'd been using to do multi-flips with his SEMA X5C. With that, it's actually a manual way to do multi-flips. It sounded interesting to me, and I wanted to share it with you. What he had done was, or he had suggested, is actually activate the flip of the flip button of the quadcopter, and then tell the quadcopter the direction of flipping that you want to do. And then when halfway through the flip, he would cut off the throttle and then let it do multiple flips from the momentum of that first flip. Obviously, if you're going to do this, you're going to need some altitude to do this, because the quadcopter is going to be dropping at the same time as it's flipping. So that's what we're going to try to do today, is to do this multi-flipping. I'll send the quadcopter up to a reasonable altitude, start the flip, and then halfway through the flip I'll cut off the throttle and let it drop and see if it can do multiple flips. So this should be interesting. Let's give it a try. Okay, first thing, let's send it up to altitude. The predetermined altitude, that should be high enough. Activating the flip button. Okay, so we did one flip. Let's try it again. So if you do this, you're going to need a lot of altitude, because it just went plowing into the ground. I did get a couple flips out of it though, as you saw, but it ended up in the ground. Let's give that one more try. Also, if you do this, obviously you want to do this on a nice grassy field, as you see here. Do not try this on concrete or a parking lot. Let's give that another shot. Okay, so give yourself plenty of altitude if you do this. It does work, but there is a good chance you're going to impact the ground. Going up again. So let's try that again. Going up, flipping. Whoop. Flipping. Wait. Yeah, you can get quite a few flips. Let's set it up high. Real high this time. Okay, flipping. So yes, it does work. You need a lot of altitude to do it. Going up again. And you want to stop the fall about halfway down. So you're going to need plenty of altitude to stop the fall. So I'm going up again. So that is interesting. This should actually work with most quadcopters that have the flip feature. So thanks again for whoever shared. I forgot who shared that with me. I'm so sorry. But yes, this feature does work, or this technique does work. Just from the momentum of the quadcopter alone, it'll do multiple flips. So this is Quadcopter 101. Again, give yourself plenty of room if you do this. And don't cry to me if you crack into the ground, because there is a good possibility that you will, as you saw my first attempt at it. So Quadcopter 101 signing off. Okay, out of curiosity, I want to see if this trick will also work for my SEMA X11. So let's set it up, give it some altitude. Send it upwind into the and give it some altitude. Activating the flip. Oh yeah, it works for that too. But it enters into vortex ring state because of the prop guards. So as it's dropping, give it some forward pitch to get out of the vortex ring state. Going up, flipping. Holy moly! Did you see that thing tumble? That's cool. Let's try that again. Flipping. It does about a half dozen flips. You need a lot of altitude to do this. Let's try that again. I hope this is coming through on the video. That's a small quadcopter, but that thing tumbles like a tumblebug. So yes, this works for, I guess, for all quadcopters that have a flip feature. Just set it up, flip it, and cut the throttle. And then turn the throttle on halfway down in the drop. You need a lot of altitude to do it. So yes, this works for the X11, and I assume it does work for all quadcopters. So I hope you enjoyed this. Quadcopter 101, signing out.